I found my face. Good morning. How do I look like I feel? I had the most horrible night. I woke up at 3, the witching hour, to pee. I check on birds, and Cheeky Charlie is dying. His eyes are open. He can blink his eyes, but his whole body is already hard, rigid, like rigor mortis. But he's not dead yet. He dies in my hands. I don't know why. All the other birds are fine. There's a very high mortality rate to little baby chickens, of course. I remember this, but this little one, I picked him up because we're trying to get them so they won't be so running away from us. I picked him up and deliberately went and showed him to my roommate and brought him back. So I don't think that would be a cause of death. Obviously, it still fucks me up because he was the one that I picked up and brought to show, and then it's dead. It's just disturbing as fuck. I remember all the emotions involved in it. With my dad, it was trudging him up yesterday. I mean, you don't want, it's like you have an animal, a pet. You don't want any of them to die. Even though that these are food product animals, you're not going to feel okay about it. You're going to feel as bad as you do. And there's not a lever to wrench it back. I remember my dad was trying to maybe show me the detached way he could be, but I thought it was very cruel and inappropriate at that time. Especially if you were doing that for a child, that's when I would have needed that from him at that time. And I don't think he intentionally did it, but it intentionally reminds me that that was the area of there was a lack of compassion and something missing that was missing, and that was the whole point of trying to find it with my dad and with like in general. Because if you miss the point with your kid, like little boys need to have their dads. They don't need TV to be their fucking dad. They don't need the fucking music, the rap community to be their dad. All those are fucking tainted ass imposter roles. You need a father and a son. We need to quit having this culture that doesn't recognize that's one of the most important fucking channels where we get our wisdom that we do not have now at all. Nobody. It's so rare. I was listening to the Navajo teacher talk about it. He's like, yeah, this is the father's job. To get what I got from my dad, that came all the way down from my fathers. I didn't even get until the very later end of life. And I don't even have my sons to transmit it to. I can't even talk to on text to one of them because it's disintegrated. The mother's line is like trying to dominate and take over, just like in the whole world's society. It's like a cancer, it's trying to eat itself. Like you got a narcissistic parent that doesn't want the other parent to have any relationship at all to the kids, and they're threatened by it because they're defective and broke through their family line programming and shit. When I came here, this has been the focus the whole time for me because I know how important that time is. Like, say, when you're 5 and you're with your dad, you're about as open as you're going to get to everything you're supposed to receive from your father that sets the whole tone for your life. And that was fucking fucked up by a failed marriage, parents that weren't going to work together, all the shit, all the same culprits, all the same culprits. These women that just have kids that go off on their own. I know one of them has two sons. Of course, one of them, my friend, is dead. He suicided himself, which I don't believe a bit of that. I think he was murdered. But this fucked up personality type that doesn't have a place or, wants to bring these bastard males into the world for fucking download of the synthetic program. That's the whole problem with this world. That's been the biggest fucking defeat that we've had against everybody. It's males not fucking running their own households. Some fucking bitch ass fucking the culture war has just waged a war on the family. You can say whatever you want about, and they say every bad thing in the world, but a man that is in the front of his family, taking care of his family, where his concerns are his family. If you go to war on that, and there is a war on that, you have to have a very specific woman already aware and aligned with those types of values. You're not going to get it. You're not going to get it from these weirdo fucking liberal kids. Don't care about anything. They want to fucking be. You're not going to get it. You're not. The unit of having a family is so fucking important to life, everything. And it's just been demolished. It's been demolished. If you think a father that doesn't have his family is just going to forget about him, sure, maybe you have those piece of shit dads that don't They didn't ever really care, and it would have just been a burden anyway because they weren't going to fucking try to do it. But if you take somebody whose core beliefs are those things and then they have problems, but they're not getting the ability to solve them from their partner because they're already programmed to take every opportunity that they can to use the law, and then you finally just don't, you can't even be with them. It's a mockery. It is a mockery. Seeing my ex wife now playing wife who wasn't going to fucking be right the whole time and just ruined my life and stole my children has me in such a fucking fucked up financial debt from the IRS and child support that there's nothing that I can do to even get out of it. I have to wait till all my kids are 18 or just die. And that's just happening to so many other people. It's so fucking depressing and sad that no one's really doing anything or looking at it. You're not going to have a society or a culture if you don't have men that are able to raise their families, be in their families, not be separated, not have to have the wife on. You need a little help from food stamps so the wife can't be connected with the husband. It's all a fucking trap and it's all used to wedge apart a family. But you got some fucking other guy that's not going to be able to have kids with this girl, but he's going to be the dad. Now they can just plug into the next person and be the family with them because that's the program's plans. He can't have children with her. Doesn't he's the one they take your children are my children. Fuck it, it's so fucked up and it's evil. This moron kid, she couldn't see it to save her life. She couldn't see it to save her life. And most people will be offended by it because women, they act like they want to be free to do some other thing than what nature has fucking given us. And that's a fucking lie. Only your weirdo fucking under 1% want to do some other weird ass shit with their lesbian lover. Most people want to do what people have been doing for thousands of years and they're not able to do it because society's all warped by this demonic influence coming in and trying to make you think that all these other wonderful things you could do, but you're being bonded up by her husband wants to have you as a slave. Lies. This is recording now. This is the second part. I did my rant the first part. I'm gonna try to clean it up now and look into the camera and read the news. Life is news. My current tool I'm working on. This aspect of myself. See it, trying to get it correct. I gotta bury the bird. The one bird. I did forget how much emotion is involved. And my friends are going on a fucking vacation. They want to start a garden, but they want to go to New Mexico in the middle of the time. This is the time to be, we're already late for gardening. There's nothing out there ready for nothing. The only thing here we have is the land is here. They don't have land. They don't have a place they could do shit. They want to. We're already doing bees. Bees do their own shit. You don't. Chickens, you have to have somebody that's feeding them every day. I would do that because we already did that. We had chickens, but they didn't survive the dog attacks. Raccoons here, they just rip your chicken's head off and drink its blood like a fucking vampire. They're monsters. You have to keep them locked up and protected because you got to kill shit. If you want to have chickens, you want to keep them alive, they're an investment and they give you eggs. You can eat eggs. Eggs are great. The eggs alone is worth it. The eggs, and everybody that actually normally has chickens, they're eating their eggs. They're not fucking eating the chickens. I'm sure you could. I love chicken, but I love those birds. I never fully was able to be okay killing any animal or making a distinction between the ones that I care for and love and like pets. I know you should probably treat your food animal different, but I don't. I love them just the same. I do. I don't want to eat a cat. They're not food. If I were in the plane crash, there's a bunch of dying people. They have to eat each other. I would eat the cat then. Cat's probably not there though. Probably not in the plane crash. Probably not. What I'm telling you is true. If there's some sort of wall or baffle of bullshit that people make in their mind for animals that they're gonna eat to, ultimately put them in the worst conditions. I don't want them in the worst conditions. I want them in good conditions. I want them to be happy little birds, eating their shit, doing their stuff, laying eggs, and I'll eat those eggs. And it was very difficult to have any. We ate some rooster. We ate one of our roosters for. You need to soften your heart. It's so harder than you think that it is. Everyone's. See, the horse can tell you that. The horse can tell you that. I'm telling you, and I know. It's the same way. Like, I thought, because I don't like what I see from religion, I too wanted to see there come some other way where another way was going to come and put the pieces back together correctly for families or whatever you want to call it. And actually, I don't see that even occurs at all. Even the hope for that I look for in like other people that aren't doing whatever the traditional way has warped my mind in a fucked up way that it's now I'm going against. I don't want anything to do with it. It is so counter. It has. I don't respect it. I don't care about it. I don't want nothing to do with it because it's basically the enemy that has always fucking worked against every good thing I've wanted for myself and everyone else. I don't want nothing to do with it anymore. And I see that it was a mistake. I can't look to Jehovah God to be like, what the fuck? Because that doesn't work. That's not the God that I would choose to worship anymore. I don't know what the fuck that thing is. I think it's some fucking archon. I think there is definitely an evil thing that took over the religion. That's an archon. But I don't think the pattern for male and female in the family and all that shit is fucked up at all. I think it's definitely necessary. Definitely. And I see the influence that even trying to have hope, or whatever, it just left a hole in the imagination to be fucking corruptible. And I'm just I'm plugging the hole, more or less. I'm doing the smallest thing that I can do, put it on nicotine patches so I don't fucking use tobacco like I have before. Smoke anything, chew anything, get it the fuck out of my life because it's such a cost draining habit that is unhealthy for you. Destroys your body. Nicotine is actually good for you. Actual nicotine has real good effects, the nicotine, but not any of the ways that we take it. You could get a pill that has nicotine. Some people take that and it does wonders for all kinds of weird shit that you wouldn't think. But smoking's not good for you. You know that. Everybody knows that. It's not good for you. Fucking chewing tobacco is definitely not good for you. It's not good for your teeth. The one thing I knew, and I felt like it was an opportunity, so I'm taking it, was getting that tooth out. Because one, it was damaged. It wasn't going to fucking be fixable. They told me exactly what I knew about it immediately. So that was, at least it granted me serenity to know that, yeah, you hit your tooth or something and it's dead. You like impacted the tooth somehow. And that's what I thought. But I'm like, if I get it out and I don't have to worry about it trying to kill me having an infection, which it could have and it would have, because would have never got any better. It would just kept getting worse. And if you look about how those abscesses advance, it would have just got worse and worse. And it is life threatening. So I'm like, if I take this tooth out, I stop dipping. There's no reason to do that. Put that tobacco shit in your mouth and be addicted to that. You already stopped smoking cigarettes. You're just so addicted to the nicotine and want the rush of the nicotine that you're going to smoke cigarette butts in a pipe. That's definitely not healthy. Able to give you the rush of the nicotine. To change that fucking behavior, which I am, and I have. I've gone fucking like day 3 or 4, because I don't want it. I don't want it. I don't want, and then I also don't want a bunch of shit that, you know, is going out with it. It's the biggest change I can do, which is kind of under the radar from any other fucking thing, which is important. You see how annoying that is? That's an annoying motherfucker, dude. So I'm gonna go outside and bury my bird, Cheeky Charlie, who died at night in my little hands. See, this you have to be receptacle your own very finer emotions about shit. You might get a clue, you might get some other sensibility, but in the world, it's too easy just to cake all that up with some sort of mud of the world. You're not even able to fucking perceive shit correctly because you're not you who you're supposed to be. I see that now. I could see it a lot clearer that had this happen, which I think is the point. I think it was the point the whole time. I've already prepared to receive the messages and run with the proper clues to get where you would want to get. That you're not even on your way at all in the state where you like using dip, all those things for me, for myself. That's what I'm saying. That's why I think it's important to make a note of it while I'm experiencing it, because I'm open now to all those reasons to make the moves that are necessary to make, but I need to be able to perceive them. I know how fine they are. They're very fine. Like you could have something happen and go through your day and not notice it. And I don't want to go that direction at all. I want to go this horse direction.